Hey y'all, I'm Tamara. This is I'd Rather Be Stitching, and I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about the Flosstube Frenzy. Um, Originally, I wasn't going to participate in that because if you saw my last video, then I told you how I made a decision wheel and I put all of my smalls on it, and I would spin a small and work on that just until I didn't want to work on it anymore. And so I had it set to, after it picked an item, it would drop from the wheel and then it wouldn't be repeated until I'd finished all of them. But every time I would leave the app and go back in, it would have reset itself. And I checked all of the settings and I couldn't figure out why it was doing that. So I decided I would just jump on the bandwagon and do the Flosstube Flosstube Frenzy. Just so you know, it's really early in the morning. It's raining, which makes me really sleepy, but that's why I'm filming here, because the lighting is a little better when it's dark. By the way, this is my actual stitchy spot, so there's my magnifying lamp, and well, you can only see the back end of the table, but my stitchy stuff sits right here. But anyway, I decided to jump on the bandwagon of the Flosstube Frenzy. And the reason I wasn't going to do it at first is because I had the wheel, I was going to use that, and I had just made it. But also, I thought there was a deadline, and I've recently seen people talking about their Flosstube Frenzy plans for 2026, so I'm assuming there's not a deadline. And also I thought, well, that's not really going to work for me because I'm always behind on watching Flosstube. But I realized that how I'm going to do it, because you can set your own goal. If you don't know what Flosstube Frenzy is, you pick a list of the Flosstubers that you watch, you match them with the project that you're working on, and every time they upload a video, you stitch whatever your goal is for that project. So it can be 100 stitches every time they do a video or whatever. Because most of my patterns are on paper, I don't like to count stitches if I don't have to. Also, I don't stitch very quickly, so I didn't want to do it like that. So how I'm doing mine is I picked Flosstubers. I picked 12 of my favorites. I do have, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 favorites that I try to stay up on. But, excuse me. But I picked 12 that I rarely miss a video for these. Sometimes they release too many too quickly and have to skip one. I don't think I've ever skipped two back to back. But anyway, I picked my top 12. I picked 12 of my smalls. And whenever a Flosstube video, whenever I watch one of their videos, now remember, I'm like 2 weeks behind on watching. So whenever I watch one of their videos, while I'm watching the video, I will stitch on the project I picked for them. That way, if it's a 15-minute video, I'll work 15 minutes on it. If it's a 50-minute video, then I'll work all 50 minutes. So that way, it won't matter if I'm behind on watching, I'll still be doing the Flosstube Frenzy. But you know what? Let me share something with you real quick before I get into who I picked. While I was picking, I went through my subscriptions on YouTube to see all the ones I was subscribed to. And it was really sad because there's at least 20 Flosstubers on there that I used to watch regularly, and they have not put up a video for like 8 months to a year. And I was just like, that's really sad, because occasionally I think about them and I'm like, oh, I wonder how that Flosstuber is doing. It's been a little while since I've seen him. But I didn't realize how long it had been for some of them, because when you just stay behind on watching Flosstube, you're not concerned about who isn't posting. You're like, oh, good, they're not posting. I have time to catch up on these others. Or at least that's me. But I was like, that's really sad, because some of them I really enjoy their videos, and I don't know if they've dropped off permanently or if they're just taking a break for life. I don't know, but it was sad. Does that ever happen to you guys? Or is that just me? I get attached to my floss tubers, and then when they don't come back, I'm like, what the heck? Hey, this is our scaredy cat. She's actually on camera. She does exist. Her name is Adelaide. She's afraid of everything. Watch. Yeah. She didn't run though, so that's an improvement. Okay, so the ones that I picked and the patterns that or the projects I assigned to them, some of them were assigned to that floss tuber for a reason, some of them were not. So these are not in any particular order. This is just how I was going down the list and picking them. So my first floss tuber is Steph.xstitch. I am doing water lilies for hers. This one I actually started for her birthday start this year. It was, I think it was in August, and it was stitched something with green. And there is green in here, I just haven't done a lot of it yet. So that one is for Steph.xstitch. Oh my gosh, guys, I just realized I missed a project. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So my next floss tuber is Andrew the Runner Stitcher. And for his, I picked my Temperature Dragon because it's not the same kind of temperature stitching, but he does do temperature stitching. So I picked this one, and this is where I am. And I will put up pictures of these, what they'll look like when they're done, but I just want to show you physically where I'll be as of today. A few of these have already gotten some stitches put in them because I started this with the wheel, so some of them had already been spun on the wheel before I realized it was resetting every time. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry guys, I am still getting over this cough. Okay. My next one is the Stitching Owl. This is Karen, and I am doing Autumn Drizzle for her because I actually started this with a stitch along that she was doing for it with other people. I still don't remember the other people. I forgot to go and check. But this is Autumn Drizzle by Max Pigeon. And she is a lot further than I am now. But that is fine. It's the story of my life. I don't keep up with stitch-alongs very well. Okay, the next floss tuber is the Keystone Stitcher. This is Elle. All of these people are some of my favorites. I do have more favorites than just these, but these are some of them. And for her, I picked Eastern Bluebird. I only picked this one for her because she has done a few birds lately, and she's doing grackles. Well, grackles is one of the projects, and one for Sorrow, which is a crow. And she finished Feasting Frenzy this year, so it had a lot of birds in it. So I picked Eastern Bluebird for hers. Okay, the next one is a Crafty Gaming Jamie. This one does not match. I just picked it because it's one of my smalls and it needs a lot more progress on it, and I'm pretty sure she releases weekly updates. So this is Aurora. This is the other one I'm doing by Max Pigeon. And hopefully, with her help, I will get a lot more done on that. The next one is the Sleepy Stitcher. This is another one that doesn't really match. I just thought it's bright and colorful. She does bright and colorful stitching. This is Koi Pond. It's a Mill Hill kit. And she sometimes does weekly, sometimes like every week and a half. So that should get a lot of progress put in on this one. All right. The next one I picked is the Max Color Stitcher. I would have loved to pick a cat project to work on whilst watching hers because she also does weekly ones. Sadly, I don't have any cat projects anymore because I finished the only one I had, which was the garden cat. So instead, I picked this polar bear. You can't tell it's a polar bear yet. There's not a lot put in, and the lighting is not great. So it's just a little bit here. But polar bear, at least it's a nice animal. Some people who like cats don't like dogs. And I thought it would be weird if I picked my dog project to stitch on for, you know, Max Keller because she adores cats. And if she's a cat lover, she might not like dogs. So I'm like, let me play it safe and go with the polar bear instead of dogs, just in case. Okay, the next one I picked is Harpy Stitch. Yeah, Harpy Stitch. Excuse me. So this one is another one that doesn't really match perfectly. It's just, you know, she did the murder camp piece, Camp Crystal Lake. So this is my murder project. It's murder shows. That's all I have of it. It's not much. So hopefully I'll be able to get more of this done because this is on a hoodie and I could use a hoodie right about now. Our house is very chilly. But so that's just murder. It's not exactly her stitching style, but it's more her stitching style than some of these others, like the next one. Okay, so the next one I picked is for I Swear I'm Stitching. And this one does not match her. It's just a small that I need to put stitches in. This is my Azalea Biscornu. And I am sorry to say I don't remember her name. I'm not good with names, and not everybody says their name in every video. She might. I'm just terrible with names. So if you're watching, I'm really sorry I don't remember your name, but I love your videos. So I'll be doing that for her. The next one is Dark X Stitch. And of course, this is not a small, but goodness knows it needs stitches. So I picked Hogwarts because she is the one that charted it. So I haven't done anything since I hit 1%. So that's still the 1% mark. So hopefully I'll get stitches in for that. She does have longer videos, but not as often. So at least when I do take it out, I'll be getting more stitchy time on it. All right, the next one is Catkin and Lily. She is actually one of the first floss tubers I ever found. I think she's the second one I ever found. The first one turned out not to be a good fit for me, so I won't mention that. But Catkin and Lily is the second one I ever found, and it was one of her tutorial videos. And it was about railroad stitching, and I had been stitching for 40 years plus and had never heard of that. So I watched her video, the tutorial, to see what it was. It turns out I do stitch like that often. I just didn't know that it had a name. So, but she's been one of my favorites since then. So for her, I'm stitching on this winter sampler, which I can't see around the board. There we go. And I picked this one because, oh, I just got a notice that she just put up a new video. That's so funny. So I picked this one because she does a lot of snowmen patterns. She designs a lot of snowmen patterns and stuff. And they're adorable. So I just picked that one for that. And then my final floss tuber that I picked is Karen, the Recovering Monogamous Stitcher. And this one, it's not really, it doesn't really have anything to do with her. It's just a nice fancy one, and she does like fancy stitching. And this is Twilight Moon. And I'm pretty sure that she does, I think, every 2 weeks. And I don't usually miss hers either, so. Twilight Moon. So those are the projects that I'll be working on for Flosstube Frenzy. And as I said, when one of them puts up a video, not when one of them puts up a video, how I do it whenever I watch Flosstube, I go down my list of save later to the oldest video of people that I watch regularly. There's plenty that are older than that, but of the ones I watch regularly, I just go straight down the list until I get to the oldest video, and I watch that one. So that's what I'll do. I'll scroll to the bottom of the regularly watched Flosstubers. I'll pick that video, whoever that is, I will match it with a project. Last night, the oldest one I watched wasn't one of these 12 that I picked, so I worked on one of my big projects that I told you I was also going to be doing for the rest of the year. So that's how I'm going to do it for the rest of this year, and probably at least through January, because like I said, we're supposed to be moved out of here by the end of January. So I don't have any other plans right now, except for I will be starting the Haid Sal whenever they give us the pattern. So that is my Flosstube Frenzy, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye, y'all.